Good morning everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Warramai First Nations people. I'd like to welcome you, your guides and my guides along with us today. If I look like I've been dragged in backwards by the cat, it's because I've been out for a walk and it's extremely windy here today up the coast, but nothing like what they are experiencing in the Gulf of Mexico with Cuba and Florida. So my heart goes out to those that are affected. Look after yourselves, look after your community and your neighbours, follow the advice of the authorities, and just do what you can and no more is expected. I was going to hopefully be talking about the January 6th committee, but justifiably that's been postponed due to what is happening in Florida at the moment because the government has other priorities on its mind. What am I going to have a look at today? So, and the school shooting in California. Fortunately, at this stage, no deaths, injuries, which sounds terrible to say fortunately. But again, to the families that are there and what they are going through. Do wonder when it's going to be enough is enough, and it will get there, but it is going to take a little while. So source light to those that are affected there as well, and those that are having to relive their own situations due to yet another school shooting. Okay, I'm just going to have a quick look at Nordstream. There's no new news on it at the moment. There's apparently a significant amount of gas coming out of the pipelines. Read on it yesterday, and what I was getting was no, it wasn't sabotage, it wasn't and it wasn't deliberately targeted. No idea who has released this gas or caused this situation, because when you look at who has something to gain from it, it's like literally everybody from Russia to Southern Europe to Western Europe to the US, to everybody has a potential finger in the pie. So I suspect we won't know. If we ever know, I might have a look at that. Will we ever find out about Nordstream? Just a couple of cards. Just a couple of cards, please. Will we ever find out? Will we ever find out? Will we ever find out? Using my tiny little Rider-Waite tarot for this, just for some very clear cards. I'm thinking, no, we're not going to find out. It is about just walking away from these particular pipelines. Okay, I might do a little bit of a spread here. Just tell us the future of the Nord Stream gas pipelines, future of the Nord Stream gas pipelines. Russia has already stopped the gas supposedly flowing through, or they've been switched off. The affected countries are finding their energy sources from elsewhere, hopefully. Just tell me about the future of the Nord Stream. Future of the Nord Stream. Okay, I'm getting cards falling out everywhere at me while I shuffle. So this is the first card I got here. Oh, that was interesting. I hadn't even looked at these. They've just popped out. This is about lies, deceit, betrayal, stealing away the truth, but also deception, but stealing what is necessary. Okay, see where this goes. The next card that fell out was the giving and receiving of help, but the selective giving and receiving of help. Okay, thank you. On the base is the Fool, so this is stepping forward in courage and faith for a new start. Can also be foolish, but I'm not actually getting foolish, the feeling of foolishness here. I'm getting the feel of just the stepping bravely forward, stepping out into the brave new world. Okay, thank you. Brave new world is what I was told. Okay, so this is about the giving and receiving of financial help. Some getting, some not. Okay, let's see where this leads us. In the past, it's having to defend oneself. A lot of messages coming forward and having to defend themselves, set up some barriers. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. I'm being told that this is... Ooh, okay. I was thinking Russia, but I just got told the fossil industry having to defend themselves. Okay, interesting. Crowning it, I think we are going to find out. Yeah, okay. We are going to find out who did it and why, as there is this whistleblower spy in the camp crowning the reading, and it's not as simple as what we think. Okay, tell me about the future of Nordstream. A lot of work going on behind the scenes. I'll get Pendulum out in a minute and we'll ask some actual clarifying questions on this, because I wonder if this is to repair it or for an alternative. Yeah, I'm getting the word alternative flashing up in front of me. So there's a lot of skill going on behind the scenes for an alternative. So it's anyone from Russia, Ukraine, Northern Europe who has a vested interest in these pipelines not reopening, to someone who's got a new pipeline that's coming through from somewhere else, to overseas interests, to anti-fossil groups. There's a lot that is going to be discovered here. So externally, it is about naive. Okay, thank you. So whoever undertook this, there is a naivety about it. Internally, it's about packing up the truth and moving on. Okay. Hopes and fears. Full illumination of what happened, but also I'm getting a draw to renewables with this sun. Okay. And I'm also, as I placed it down, was drawn to the sunflowers as well. Okay, right. Outcome, King of Cups. Page of Cups. A lot of emotion here. Very emotional. So King of Cups is about calm. It's my Biden administration card, but it's about a calm diplomacy that comes forward, and emotionally balanced. There is this bombshell, unexpected something that's going to be revealed, which cues in nicely with this whistleblower about an agreement or partnership that is underway in regards to independence, which will bring about a tower moment. Now, tower moments, they're not always just complete and utter destruction. That's more the Seven of Swords, but this is very much about breaking down old structures to bring forward something new. There is going to be some okay. Excuse the foggy brain. The planets are driving me absolutely nuts at the moment. Getting so many influences. Being hemmed in, being held hostage with loss. Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's just given me the answer. They're just giving me the answers right now. Okay. So there is going to be calmly looking into this, into what's happened, but I think what also is going to happen is there's going to be a movement to stable governments for supply of energy. There is something that is surprising that's going to come out of the woodwork, and it's going to be in regards to agreements that were made, but also new agreements are going to be made to ensure the independence of these countries that have been relying on Russian gas, so the Russian energy. So there's a couple of issues going on here. We then have, this is going to be authentic breaking down of the old structures so that new can be rebuilt. It is going to be restricting for a time. It is going to feel like there is loss. However, what the affected countries need to do is turn around and look at the two cups that are still standing and embrace those two cups and then follow the path across the bridge to security. So it is very much about a change in attitude. What we have here is the mercenary actions of Russia is bringing this about, and Russia's going to find itself further out in the cold in regards to this. This is my usually Putin card, but I'm going to call it my Kremlin card because I don't know that Putin's still actually in charge over there. Going to find themselves even more out on the cold. However, this also indicates that it is those that are most vulnerable that are going to be most affected. What do we have next? There is going to be new barriers that are going to have to be set up. So the countries that are affected by the closure of the Nordstream and what's happened there with these so-called leaks. Well, they are leaks. I mean, they're not so-called leaks, but we're not sure how they actually have occurred. Are going to be having to set themselves new boundaries. They're going to feel a bit, well, not just a bit, they're going to feel themselves battered. There's a lot of messaging that's going to come out, and they're going to set themselves new boundaries. But we have this rebalancing between the emotion of the water and the practicality of the land. And the sun is rising. The sun is rising on a new day. So this is about bringing back temperance and balance and order, because the Russian fossil fuel monopoly was a lopsided arrangement. Thank you, Meister. He's telling me it was a lopsided arrangement with all the power being literally given to Russia. So this is a rebalancing both on an emotional and a practical level. There's more I could go there. I could keep going with the story. There is something that's going to be revealed. Again on the bottom, something that's going to be revealed. And it does come back to money. So again, it could be the energy companies, and anybody could be involved in this. There's a lot of information that's going to come forward very quickly that is going to bring about this practical earthly new start, a new way of doing things, complete and utter downfall for the way that things are being done now. So I'm just going to, what was I going to look at with pendulum? Okay, that's right. Just bring you down again. Okay. May I ask a question, please? May I ask a question, please? May I ask a question? Oops. Let's try that again. I was just trying a different way of holding it. Okay, may I ask a question, please? May I ask a question? Thank you. Are they going to try and repair the pipelines? Are they going to try and repair the pipelines? Are they going to repair the pipelines? Are they going to repair? And I'm getting a no for that. Okay, may I ask a question? May I ask a question, please? Are the affected countries going to find alternative fuel, energy, alternative energy? Are the affected countries going to bring in alternate energy? Alternate energy. And that's a yes. That was the question I wanted to ask, as to whether they're going to repair it or not. And I think what that's going to do is it's all about this new path. There's a lot, okay, there's a lot of information coming in. There's a lot of new processes that are being developed. It is a new start, which is going to be the downfall of the old way of doing things. Okay, but I'm getting that it's not going to, they're not going to repair it. So we'll see whether that comes to fruition or not. That will be quite interesting. Going to have a look at Britain. what's happened with Britain is that the pound has now, oh gosh, so the new Prime Minister Liz Truss and the Exchequer, which is their company's treasurer, I can't remember his name, they have gone forward with the tax cuts, which basically removes the top tax limit for income in the UK, which means the top 1% wealthier are going to have to pay less tax. Triple down economics again, which has caused the pound to plunge to its lowest level in 4 decades. It's almost on par with the US dollar at the moment. And the solution by the UK government is to buy UK government bonds to try and prop up the economy. They've been resoundingly chastised by the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, for allowing these tax cuts to go through. It means the average person who is struggling in the street gets no relief. The government's argument is if they give tax cuts to the wealthiest, they will invest. Well, no, they don't. You know, they might buy another super yacht or a holiday home in the south of France, but no. Reagan was the president that brought in the theory of trickle-down economics. Now, when was Reagan? 40 years ago. 40 years it has been proven that trickle-down economy does not work. What we really require is a trickle-up. not that things can actually trickle up itself. What I'm getting is that there is more to be revealed in regards to this, and it is a very naive way of doing trickle-down economy is very naive. As I separate the deck to draw, we've got the addiction, power, greed, with the naivety and going back to the past. It's always been a naivety about the past. It's always been that trickle-down does not work, because thems that have $1 million a year to spend, it makes no difference to them if they've got an extra couple of $100,000. However, if you've got somebody that's on an income of $500 a week, yeah, an extra $20 a week means they will spend every cent of that on necessities, which is what keeps the money sloshing around the economy and keeps business in business. Just had the temperance card pop out. This is all about going back to a rebalancing, a sense of balance, a sense of fairness. There was such a time when, you know, the difference between the lowest paid and the highest paid was tenfold or something similar to that. Now it's thousands fold. So we're in a time that rewarding the obscenely wealthy is not the way to go, and it is being realised. Okay, so tell me about... Okay, this card has jumped out at me twice. I just put it in the first time. It's jumped out at me twice. This is loss and despair, and so you've got the five of cups. You've got the 3 cups spilt. You've got 2 cups still standing behind. So at the moment, what's very much happening in Britain is that there is a lot of loss and despair going on. They're not looking at what possibilities there are. The government is looking at what has already happened, and there's a lot of blame going on for what has happened, but there's no point in blaming the past. The past is done. What they need to do is look behind them at these 2 cups that are still standing and see how they can strengthen what they have left. So I'm going to do a spread on Britain. I may also then move to my intuitive cards, and what I want to do right at the very end of this reading is I'm going to go through and do a future life. Actually, no, I'll do that as a separate reading. I'll do a future life as a separate reading. It just told me, yeah, do that. Do a future life as a separate reading. For those that are interested, you can then watch it and see how it's done. It'll be a future life on myself, because I won't do a future life on anybody without their permission. Just so, in case you're curious. Okay, tell me about Britain going economically going forward. Britain economically going forward. What do we need to know? If there's any questions about anything going on in the world at the moment, please put them in the box below. I was quite heartbroken to see, squirrel moment, a video came out that had a translation with it as well, showing these new, not recruits, conscripted, and it's always the poorest and the most despondent that tend to be conscripted, because those that can afford to flee will flee. But the new drafted into the Russian army, they were being given a lecture in barracks about how they need to write to their wives and mothers and girlfriends to ask them to be sent sanitary products to be used as field dressings, and to ask for any first aid kits that the families can send. It's just such a desperate, I don't blame the Russian people for what's going on. My heart goes out to the Russian people as much as the Ukrainian people. They're being used as pawns by an abusive regime who is all about greed and power and control. But okay. Tell me about Britain, the British economy. How are we going forward with the British economy? What's happening? Entertainment and spiritual guidance only. Do not make financial decisions. I am not a financial advisor. This is just a tarot reading. Tell me how the economy is. Okay, I'm being told to stop shuffling. Tell me about the British economy going forward. Okay, flipped out. Knight of Pentacles. Not mercenary in this case. This is about, it is very slow. It is a financial card, but it is about slow, steady progress forward. So there's nothing fast going to happen here. However, it is movement forward. It is progress forward. But it is slow and steady. It's really very much, okay, I will say it's grit your teeth and hang on time. Crossed by the Four of Pentacles, financial insecurity. Yeah, it's very much a time of budget. Even if you are doing well at the moment, even if you can afford to spend, double think. If you're in Britain, double think about whether you actually need to spend. Do you take your lunch to work? Do you really need to buy? Oh, well, it's a hard one, because if you don't buy your lunches out, then the cafes and the staff that work in the cafes struggle. But it is very much about discretionary spending. Double think. Do you need that new pair of shoes? Do you need that new... Can you get your refrigerator fixed instead of... Sorry, this is what Mice is telling. Can you get your white goods fixed instead of buying new? It is very much about having to watch the pennies and the pounds, and just hang on to your money, because you don't know what's coming around the corner. There is this slow and steady progress forward, but it is about just hanging on to your money. I believe, and buy local. Thank you, Noreen. He's just said buy local, because the issue at the moment is that anything that is imported, and I gather from what Liz Truss said, so it's apparently something like 75% of cheese is imported into Britain. So try and seek local, buy direct from your local farmers, buy direct from the producers. Okay, thank you, Noreen. Okay, we'll keep going. Base, it is about the community and the family, looking after the community, looking after the family, putting up some boundaries around the family and community, and just look after each other. We are always drawn to the dragonflies at the top here. We are in a stage of transformation. where it is going from unchecked capitalism to a more fair system, but we just have to get through this process at the moment. So look after your family. In the past, sabotage, betrayal, walking away, winning at all cost. This is Brexit. This is the tax cuts. This is, you name it. It's all that, but it is in the past. So we actually need to. We can't change it. It is, as much as we would like to wish and go back. There's, from what I gather, a lot of people in the UK who voted for Brexit are now saying we didn't understand what we were voting for, and if we had really understood it, we would never have done so. They may still have voted even if they did understand, but now that the fallout is hitting, they are having what we call buyer's remorse, voter's remorse. But it is in the past, and we have to accept that it is, and we have to find a new how to move forward with it. Crowning the reading, Three of Cups, emotional circles of support. Again, this comes back to the community. Can be a celebration card, but I prefer to think of it as a circles of support card emotionally. Not just financially, but mental health. Emotional health is going to be extremely important during this time. Take the time to listen, take the time to ask if people are okay, take the time to help those around you if you can, take time to share, and even if there's no financial support you can give, you can always give moral support, emotional support. Okay, immediate future, Temperance. The rebalancing. This is really, this situation's really opening the eyes of what is actually required. What has happened in the past is not working, so therefore a new plan needs to be brought forward. This is about rebalancing both the emotional and the practical. Okay. Externally, it's going to be a bit rough, folks. Messages coming forward. He is an impulsive knight, so there may be some impulsive messages coming forward. Just keep your head down. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Master. He's just like, keep your head down, manage your own business, manage your own money, and you will get through it. But there's going to be a lot of knee-jerking happening here. Thank you. Okay, internally we've got another knight. And emotional offers coming forward. Beware the false knight. Beware the promises. Don't believe everything you're told, and be very cautious about offers that you are being made. Okay, thank you. If it seems too good to be true, it is. Okay, thank you. This is to me, okay, what I've just been told in a bit of a dump here is that this is going back to balancing your budget, managing spending, doing everything within your power to spend less than you earn, so that you have a little nest egg left over for the unexpected. And this is telling me, beware the loan sharks. is what the guides told me. Beware the loan sharks, the payday lenders, the offers of fast money, the scammers are going to come out of the woodwork, is what it's telling me internally. There's going to be a lot of knee-jerk, difficult decisions having to be made. Beware the scammers, okay, and the loan sharks, etc. Hopes and fears. Here are the lawmakers. They're sitting firmly on the throne. They are looking you straight in the eye, and I think what's happened is this plunging of the pound has given the lawmakers a big scare. So they are reassessing what's happening, hopes and fears. Right, there is going to be heartbreak and loss and despair. There's just no two ways about it. When your electricity bill comes in and you wonder how the hell you're going to pay it. But this is also about, okay, thank you. Sitting next to this, it's telling me that loss and despair, but you need to logically and intellectually seek out these circles of support. So if you cannot pay a bill, contact the provider and let them know and come to an arrangement. It may be that rather than waiting for the bill to come, you can make an arrangement with them to pay £20 or whatever per pay to get you out of, but also to try and get ahead as well. Yeah, it's telling me there's going to be a lot of heartbreak. As seek out the cheaper products for your food, don't buy unnecessary. There's going to be a lot of heartbreak, but look out for these circles of support and look out for the support that you can get, whether it be food pantries, government financial assistance. Yeah, okay, I think I've covered that. It is going, by using this logic and these circles of support, looking out for the community. If you've got some that you can spare, perhaps look at setting up a community pantry where those that have extra that they can, so they can throw an extra 80p bag of rice or something in their shopping that they can put in the pantry for someone that cannot afford and is finding themselves in real dire straits. But it is by coming together that we are going to move forward and get out of this. Use your logic, use your common sense, use your intelligence, and do what you can for others. Okay, thank you. Yeah, here is this loss and heartbreak, but it is about looking at these two cups that are still standing and building a solid foundation on those two cups. Because if you have a look, if they turn around and look at those two cups, there is a tree of abundance. There is light and fruit on this tree. There is also the sunrise, but it is all behind. So it is about turning behind and seeing an alternative way to move forward and to help, and emotionally drawing on these still standing cups instead of despairing at these ones that have tipped over. And here we have, now these are literally the same cards that I had in the Rider-Waite decks. It is the dawning of a new way of doing things. Again, the same card. A lot of information is going to come out very quickly. A lot of messaging is going to come forward very quickly. But again, we have this new dawning card. There are going to be some harsh truths that are going to have to be faced. There are going to be some difficult decisions. There are going to be restrictions. It is going to, the way forward is going to be through authentic reform. Going to have to draw back. Look at all these swords here. This is all these swords here. It is about using logic, common sense, intellect, rather than emotion to move forward. Emotion will solve none of this. It is about calling on the intellect. Four of Swords is retreat. Don't be caught up in the emotional illusions, as you have this and you've got the Sun and the Strength card, which are two fabulous cards to finish on. Full illumination of what needs to be done, but also a great supporter for the Strength card, as in the sun is shining on the strength of the British. Never underestimate the British. It may come back to growing some vegetables in your backyard. It will be victorious in the end. There are things going on, hidden agenda, things behind the scenes that have not yet been revealed. At the moment, it is about a surrender to this devil energy, greed, but there is going to be a new feminine energy coming forward that is going to lead this path through. That'll be the downfall of those that are lying. There is something that's going to come out that's going to be a holy crumbs moment, but then we'll be illuminating the path past these obstacles. It is going to be burdensome, not underestimating how difficult it's going to be, but there will be this new plan coming forward to bring the ship in. So what's going to happen first up is there is going to be this exposure. And as with anything, we as humans cannot move forward until our past is exposed and acknowledged. So there is going to be exposure of what has happened in this past about lies and deceits and betrayal, and only then can movement forward occur. But that Strength and Sun card, yeah, I'm very positive that it will, but it is going to be difficult and burdensome in the meantime. So please look after your fellow citizens, look after your family, grow some vegetables. I know you're coming into winter, even if it's just herbs on the windowsill. Plants bring such joy. They purify the air. They bring heart joy. They bring positive energies into a home. The fact that you can pick something that you have grown yourself, whether it's parsley on the windowsill or a bit of basil or something, to just brighten up a scrambled eggs or whatever it is, there can be great joy. So grow what you can where you can. Wherever that's coming from, Narin, yeah, that's coming from Narin. Grow what you can where you can. Very much Narin energy today. And if you can, set up the community pantry, or if you don't want to just put goods, just have a day a week where you have a swap day where people can bring goods along and people can take goods, but there is no questioning, there is no judgment whatsoever. Once you have bought that 80p bag of rice or pasta or a tin of stew or whatever it is, once you have bought it with the intention that it is to go to somebody in need, it is no longer yours to judge on who needs it. So let it go. Oh gosh, that was interesting. Okay, so thank you for joining me. What I might do, I'll just draw a couple of what have I got? Work Your Light cards, just for some energies going forward, because that, again, things are quite heavy at the moment. I'm finding the earth energies at the moment are making me incredibly weary. So if I look a bit tired, I do apologise. Just feeling the tired at the moment, feeling quite drained. So I'm drawing where I can on source energy, which is the love and light from universe. Oops, got cards coming out. Hang on a minute. Oh, the card that popped onto the floor. When I'm talking about drawing on earth energy, universe energy, spiritual energy, I'm not drawing on energy from anything else on this physical realm. I'm making sure that when I draw from source, and then when I am full and have spare, I give that energy to others. So what popped out was quite amusing, fell on the floor, pillar of light. And that's how I perceive the source energy coming through to me, is a pillar of light coming down. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. That's exactly very telling. Very telling. And that is the energy we need at the moment, is see yourself in the pillar of light. Draw on the source energy. Give to those who need, but don't give it from yourself. Give it from the source. Okay, thank you for joining me today. I shall post this video, and then I'll do another video doing a future life of you for those that are interested. Might be a bit woo-woo for some. It is talking about a life physically in the future, not the future of this particular life, and we'll see where it takes us. Okay, thanks for joining me. Love to you all. Bye-bye.